What up, family? It's your favorite uncle cousin. Figured I'd just, hop on a live real quick while I'm sitting in this LA traffic, which is coming to a city near you, right? Real quick, yeah, everybody trying to get out of LA and move all over to Texas and everywhere else. So, yeah, y'all welcome them, please, with open arms so they can take this traffic to your city, right? So, yes, man. How y'all doing? Seeing everybody in. What's up, fam? I see y'all. Mr. DJ Mike Cool. We getting busy. I just wanted to talk about taxes. Well, I got the opportunity to. So, man, oh yeah, y'all see that? Man, I just came from the doctor's, right? Got my blood work done. Got my checkup. Your uncle cousin's doing good, healthy, feeling good, which is something else we're going to have to talk about, because what's the point of getting all this money if you ain't going to be healthy enough to enjoy it? Right? So you got to make sure that you keep your health important. I didn't understand that, which is why I ended up in the emergency room back in January. But now I know, completely different story. I'm on a whole new path, so I'm making sure I get checked, right? But that ain't what I want to talk about. Man, I want to talk about taxes. Tax season is in full blown. Having multiple conversations with multiple people, dealing with people with little income to people with $1 million in income. And it's all the same. I hear it, right? I don't want to pay taxes. I don't like paying taxes. And I get it. Nobody wants to pay taxes. Well, I don't say nobody. There's a certain group of individuals who wants to pay taxes. There's a certain group of individuals who have a certain mindset that they're okay paying taxes. So I've discovered something. I've discovered the reason that nobody wants to pay taxes. If you have a problem with paying taxes, it's because you're broke. And I hate to sound brass and cast and all that, stuff, but it's the truth, right? Like, if you have a problem with paying taxes, because if after you pay your taxes, you have no money left, you broke. And that don't mean you're broke from like a poverty standpoint, right? Because one of the things that we do when we get money is we spend it. When our income goes up, so does our expenses. So even if you're making $1 million, it's possible to be broke because you're spending $1 million. So you have no money left. So then even still at that profit level, when it's time to pay taxes, you don't want to. Why? Because you broke. And even if you get a refund, that really says a lot. And that's a whole different conversation. A refund sucks, right? Because getting a refund literally means you broke, right? Because you are in a certain income range that the federal government, and I want y'all to look this up, is considered what they call the federal poverty level. Like, there's a certain level of income that our federal government has deemed that if your income is at or below this number, you are considered to be living in poverty. And because of that number, we're going to give you all of these credits and earned income credit and all of these other special programs because you're considered poverty. So I want that to sink in, right? If you don't like paying taxes, you're broke. If you're getting a refund, you're broke, right? And so I'm your favorite uncle cousin. I'm always keep it real with you. Two things I ain't gonna never do. I ain't gonna never lie to you, and I ain't gonna lie for you. I understand that. So if you broke, there's a way to change it, right? Because we don't like paying taxes because it leaves us with nothing at the end. So even if you have all the fanciest stuff, right? Even if you have the newest, the newest clothes, the newest gadgets, the latest cars, the latest trend, you look good, you still can be broke. Because after you spent that, you have nothing left. So how do we get out of being broke? One, we got to accept the fact that taxes is a part of making money. If you don't want to pay if you want to pay zero taxes, then you have to make zero money. And I've explained this before about how Amazon and President Trump made all this money and paid zero taxes. I've explained that. It ain't the fact that they didn't make money. It's the fact that they lost major money in previous years. And then there's a little snippet in the tax code that says you can carry that loss forward to the years where you make money and pay zero tax. So again, it ain't the fact that they didn't pay zero taxes. They just took advantage of a snippet of a tax code, right? So look, I want you, if you really want to make money, if you really have a desire to be financially fit, you got to get into the habit of paying your taxes. Because trust and believe, the IRS, the state agencies, they are going to get their money regardless. I've seen it. I've been in this game a little over 14 years. I've been in the tax game, right? And I've seen it where people think that they getting away with it. Like they think that, oh, because the IRS ain't said nothing, I must be good, right? They ain't said nothing to me. I ain't saying to them. I ain't open up the can of worms. Then 7 years later, 10, 15 years later, the IRS said, oh yeah, you remember so many years ago you had this? Well, now it's time to pay that debt. But now we tacking on penalties and interest. Okay? So not only do you owe us that $50,000, it's now $150,000 because of the penalties and interest that we tacking on to it from X amount of years ago. So don't think just because the IRS is silent that they don't know. Let's just stop there right there. So I guess I'm saying all this to say, look, you want to make so much money that paying taxes is like paying the dinner tab, right? Like, oh yeah, I got this. Let me put the credit card down. I got this. Cool. That's the goal you don't want to get at. Don't let your goal be to try to avoid paying taxes. Pay your taxes. Play the game. Like, we try to make up so many ways to not play the game, right? Or to cheat. That's the word I'm looking for. We try to make up so many ways to cheat the system that we end up losing. Because trust me, every time somebody thought of a way to game the IRS, they immediately addressed it in the tax code as to where you can't do it no more. Yes, there are certain statutes and snippets of code that exist that allow you to maybe pay less. There are certain statutes of the tax code and little snippets that allow you to, as we say, change the color of money. For example, right, you can, from our single member LLC folks that's having high profits, you might want to consider an S corp. A lot of things you can do in that regards. But whatever you do, stop trying to get out of paying taxes. I'm gonna just say, it just makes sense. Just pay your taxes, right? If you have a $30,000 tax bill, how much money did that equate to you? Think about that. I know people's complaining now, like, man, I owe, $200-$300. Oh, I owe. Yeah, you owe. But those are the people that if you owe and you have a problem with paying the taxes, that means your margins, your income margins is low. So after you pay your taxes, you dead broke, right? Like you have no money to live off of. You in a situation, and you should not be in a situation after you pay your taxes. After you pay your taxes, you should be going to celebrate like, man, I just paid $100,000 to the government. Why? Because you know how much that made? You know how much that means I made? Yeah. Yeah, trust me, that's the goal your uncle cousin is on right now. My goal is to get my tax bill to be as high as it has ever been. In all honesty, I ain't trying to avoid taxes. I want to look at my taxes and be like, man, I paid a lot of taxes. But I'll be proud of that because I'm going to be like, man, I made a lot of money. And I'm going to pay it. But how do we do that? There is a specific strategy to this, my people. There is a specific, did I say Pacific? I can't even talk right now, so don't talk about me, right? The thing you want to do, especially for my people out there hustling, right? My people out there getting to the bag, is really stacking the cheese, getting them buckets. That's what you say back in the day. I think I'm dating myself. What you want to do is when your income goes up, like, don't have your expenses go up. Don't do it. That's what, like I say, the thing about us, when we're used to poverty, when we're used to not having things, the first thing we do is get money, is we go spend it so we can show somebody that, look at me, I made it, I'm no longer broke. I'm no longer living in poverty. I got something that's representative of wealth. But think about it. If you had $100 and you went and bought something for $100 so you can look like you have $100, then damn it, you no longer have $100. Let's just understand that. If you made $100 and you immediately went and spent it so you can look like you have it, well, that means you no longer have it, so you're back to your original position, being broke. That's how, that is technically the only difference between us and the wealthy. If you see Bill Gates, he ain't wearing nothing flashy, right? Jeff Bezos, he ain't wearing nothing flashy. That man got on probably something. He probably still shop at Walmart. Well, maybe he don't. I'm probably just exaggerating. But Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, them people, they don't look like they got money. Why? Because they keep their expenses low and the income high. That's the only way we gon' not be broke no more, is we have to learn that, yeah, when I get this bag, I'ma still live in this certain condition until my assets start to pay for my liabilities. That's another thing I really want you to really focus on, right? Make your assets pay for your liabilities. That's a term, assets and liabilities. Assets make you money, your liabilities cost you money. So you want to get to a point where your assets are paying for your liabilities. I had a conversation the other day. My daughter, Dad, I need some new shoes. I'm like, first of all, why you need new shoes? Well, you ain't went nowhere. You be stuck in the house, just sitting in your room. I don't even know if you live here no more. I don't even see you. Be in your room all the time. Dad, I need some new shoes. I'm like, all right, well, what kind of shoes you want? Me, I'm being funny. Like, I can go to Walmart to get you some shoes. They got some shoes. They be like, maybe $25 for some shoes at Walmart. She looked at me crazy. Like, if she would, she could, she would have killed me for offering her some little cheap Walmart shoes. She said, I need some Nikes. I'm like, why Nike? I said, better yet, let's have this discussion. Wouldn't it be nice if Nike paid for your Nikes? How about that? And she kind of looked at me funny, like, why would Nike buy my shoes? And I said, that's the amazing things about having your assets pay for your liabilities. I said, for the price that I would go pay for you a pair of Nike shoes, let's just say $200 plus, because she want to get these, I don't even know, right? Like, I'm not a sneakerhead, y'all forgive me. So I don't even know what kind of shoes, but every time I go buy them shoes, it's $200 plus. I say, why don't we take this $200 that we about to spend on some shoes and buy some Nike stocks? And then let's wait for that Nike stock to then yield $200. Right? So now we invested in Nike. We bought the Nike stock. The Nike stock is trending upward. The Nike stock is making money, right? So now that Nike stock is now valued at $400. So now your stock, your $200 just made you an additional $200. So now you can take that and go buy some shoes. So Nike just bought you some Nikes, right? Having your assets pay for your liabilities. That's what we need to do as people. And not avoid the tax. Play the game. Don't cheat the game. When you cheat, you technically don't win, right? Because it's an illusion. You thinking you winning. And they want you to think that you winning. By all means, they like, yeah, keep thinking that. Because then when we come at you, not only are we going to get what we were supposed to get, we going to get more. Because we going to hit you with penalties and interest. Because you thought you was gaming the system. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Especially if you really trying to win. Whether everybody want to invest in something, you want to buy a house, you want to get cars, they're going to come asking, where's the tax return? They're going to look at it. Like, and I know people want to invest in real estates right now, right? First thing they ask, where's their tax return? Yeah, you may have filed your taxes and you wrote off everything. So now your income is low. They were like, well, you ain't got no money to qualify for the household. We can't help you. So there's multiple reasons why we have to get out of this mentality like, I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to play the game. Yeah, you want to play the game, but you want to win at the game. And there is a specific strategy to do it. Listen, get the bag, keep your expenses low. If you already living at a certain level and it's not and it's not causing you harm, it's not detrimental to your health, it's not, doing anything negative, then continue to live that way even if you get the bag until you're able to get to a point where your assets are paying for your liabilities. Simple. That's where you want to get at. When your assets is paying for your liabilities, then we start making some of them additional purchases, because true indeed, you don't want to make money and not spend it either, right? Like, you definitely want to reward yourself. You definitely want to treat yourself, right? Because you worked hard for it. So that's what you want to do. But don't do it too early. Don't do it to the point where it's keeping you broke. That's a harsh word, right? That's a harsh reality. You broke. You get a refund, it's because you broke, right? Most people who get a refund are under what's considered the federal poverty level. The word poverty right there says something, right? And so don't celebrate a refund. Don't celebrate the fact that you pay taxes, right? It's amazing the conversations that people have at different profit levels. People that are under that federal poverty level celebrate the refund. People who are at like, I'm even say the $1 million level, they celebrate the fact that, hey, I can buy the latest thing. But when you are in a conversation in a room with billionaires, they try to figure out, man, who has a charity that I can donate some money to so I can write it off on my taxes? I got to give away some money, right? Like, I'm going to pay my taxes. I want to pay my taxes, but I'd rather give some away first and then pay what's left over. That's the conversations that happens when you're at the billionaire table. So that's where you want to get to. You want to get to the point where you're like, man, I got so much. I don't mind paying my taxes, but let me give some away to somebody. That way I can at least reduce my taxes, right? That's the goal, my people. Don't try to avoid paying taxes. The only way to avoid paying taxes is to not make no money. Really, like, if you don't want to pay taxes, don't make no money, right? And again, there's those I'm trying to say, like, levels, I guess, right? Because it's different spots you'll be in, right? Like, when you're below the federal poverty level, you are like struggling, right? You're surviving, right? And it's cool, like you're not dying, you're not on the streets, you're good, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, things could be better. And then you get to the point where, okay, you know what, things are getting better. I'm above the poverty level. I'm doing good. I'm living good. But now it's like, man, I'm not here, but I'm not there. So I'm just in that limbo type thing. And so money's funny there. It's like you making enough just to survive, and that's good, right? But after you pay your taxes again, you still broke. right? So the goal is to come from above those two levels, right? We don't want to be in poverty. We don't want to be at the level where we good, but after we pay our taxes, we still broke. Don't want to go there. We want to get to the spot where we can say, you know what? I paid my taxes and I still got money left over. What am I about to invest in? That's where we want to be. And the only way we're going to get there is if we discipline ourselves to say, the more money I get, I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to convert that into an asset that is going to, in the future, pay for my liabilities. And the only way to do that is to discipline ourselves not to buy when we make it. It's like just stay broke if you can. Stay broke. Okay? So I think that's it. I've arrived at my destination. I just really wanted to get that out there. I appreciate y'all joining me through the LA traffic, which is, like I said, coming to a city near you, because everybody trying to get out of LA because they said it's too expensive. And it is. Boy, living in California is something else, but I love it. Wouldn't trade it for nothing else. I'm gonna come visit some cities and everything like that, man. So let me see. I apologize. I definitely missed some conversations. I appreciate the love that's being shown. The straw man thing, yes, I've heard of the straw man theory. I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about it. I've heard, I'll probably do some research about it, but look, I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying you don't have to pay taxes. I get the emails, I get the comments on YouTube, people telling me there's nothing in the law that says you have to pay taxes, and I'm like, well, the tax law itself says you have to pay taxes. And people go into these theories and say, well, we are sovereign and we're corporate and you're only supposed to pay this. And I'm like, look, we've seen it. People have tried these theories, right? We've seen celebrities try these theories and not pay their taxes based on these straw man theories or there is no law that says this. And what happened to them? They end up in the court of law and they end up having to pay money back because that theory failed. So like I tell anybody who hits me with, you don't have to pay taxes, I'm like, okay. Because where it's going to end up is in the courts, okay? At the end of the day, no matter what we do, we always want to worry about what is going to be the result if it ends up in the court. So, for those of you who say that there's a way not to pay taxes and that we're not legally obligated to pay taxes, show me via an actual court case where someone didn't pay their taxes, went to court and won and still didn't pay taxes. Once that's been revealed to me and it fits everybody's situation, because that's the thing, not everybody's situation is the same. But once we find a court case that fits everybody's situation about not paying taxes, then you'll see me talking about it. Okay? Definitely. So, but again, until then, keep your money high, keep your income low. Yes, somebody said get that equity. Absolutely. Equity is one of the greatest things to do. Reread 1946, what is the best way to make money to get wealth? I mean, at this point, there are so many things. That's a great question. There are so many things that we can do to get wealth, right? Like, have a skill. One of the things you can do to get money is you gotta, like, if you take out a piece of paper and you want to draw two circles that overlap each other, where you have that little space in the middle. And one of the circles is going to be your skills, right? You want to list your skills in one of the circles, and the other circle, you want to list your passions. And then of your skills and your passions, you want to write in that middle piece the part that where they both connect, right? Because you got to have a skill and a passion to be successful, to be wealthy, right? Because you can have a skill and you know, there's something you know how to do, but just because you know how to do it don't mean you want to do it, because there is no passion in it, it probably won't go nowhere, right? And then on the flip side, you can have something that's you're extremely passionate about, you love it, you can do it, but but you ain't got the skills. So every time you know, like, I have a passion to say, I don't know, to get into MMA. Like, I love mixed martial arts. One of my dreams, obviously, was just to go to UFC and get in the octagon one time. That's a passion of mine. But can I do it? Do I have the skills right now to go get into the octagon and fight some of them folks? Probably not. There's somebody gonna do a flying kick and I'm out in the first second, right? Passionate, but don't have the skill. Okay, so find something that's in the middle. And once you find that, then use that to get wealth. But then, like I said, there's a strategy to it. We just can't do it, which is what a lot of people do. They just go out here and get the money. But then once you get it, then what? And that's where we fall short at, because we know how to get it, right? We know how to get it like that, but keeping it, holding on to it, making it work for us, making it stretch, making it pay for everything else, getting to a point where we no longer have to be involved as much, but still make as much, right? That's what we have to get to. Like I said, there's a whole strategy to that, and as soon as this tax season over, we gonna get to the strategy, because right now, as y'all notice, like, I'm not as active as I like to be, but that's because this tax season is definitely doing something else. So, man, again, I appreciate everybody being here on the ride with me. Normalize, pay those estimates. Yes, absolutely. If you can, pay quarterly estimated taxes. That just saves you from being penalized and doing everything else. You know, get used to paying them taxes, right? Just make sure you do what you do, be good to go, and we go from there, man. So yeah, let's see. Sweet C for God says, what do I need to start a small business? LLC permit. You know what, them LLCs, even though I made that video some years ago, I'm still standing by the fact that LLCs is not what should be considered when starting a business. I think I'm gonna have to do a whole nother segment on that. Like, if we still stuck on LLCs because everybody's talking about it, because everybody wants you to spend money to buy it. Right? An LLC is like I don't know, it's like buying a mask, right? Like you'll get it, you'll have it, but what is it doing for you? Like, how is having it making you money? Right? People will have the argument on the reverse, like, well, having the LLC ain't gonna make you money, but it will save you money in the event of this. Yeah, well, that's what insurance is for, right? Like, and still you save because your insurance is gonna be the first line of defense. Even if you have an LLC, you want insurance, right? So, me personally, Sweet C for God, I'm going to say ignore the LLC process. My personal opinion, when you're just starting, go for a DBA, get some business insurance, start there. Then once you start to see revenues go up, then consider, I didn't say form, I said consider forming an LLC, right? Always run the numbers. You know me, as your favorite uncle cousin, I'll tell you, run me those numbers, because that's what's going to tell the truth. Numbers don't lie. But look, I appreciate, again, y'all being on the ride with me. I'm about to go in here, get back to work. And yeah, man, so keep your eyes peeled, man. Know that I love you and I appreciate you. And I will see y'all soon, because we got a lot to talk about. Apparently, we got a lot to talk about. So I'll see y'all on the next one.